what is actually, just to rewind, what is actually happening in the brain when it comes to, let's talk addicts, what is actually happening in the brain when it comes to sugar, and what makes it so hard to break up with that habit? Because like you said, there's different compartments of where you fall in, an emotional eater versus an addict, which we'll talk about. But when it comes to the addict brain, where you have that DNA snip, what's actually happening? To help us understand that more.
Okay, awesome. There's a book called The Affliction of Addiction by Adam McArnold. I think he nails it. There's lots of books on this topic, but I think he nails it. And what he says is that your body biochemically clicks with the substance or it doesn't, more or less. And he says that there's two criteria that need to be present in order for you to become addicted to a substance: the intensity and the speed at which it affects your brain chemistry, in which it uplifts your neurotransmitters, your dopamine, your catecholamines, your serotonin, and the intensity which it does that. So if there's a tiny lift from sugar, that's not likely. If you're going to become addicted to something, it's not likely going to be sugar, because there's a little, you feel slightly better. There might be a little bit of a lift. And if there's a delay, which is why we know phones are addictive, because there's this real rapid speed. And the people who design the VLTs and the bingo machines and stuff like that, there has to be an immediate reward. Now, if there's a delay, it's also not going to be one of your addictions. Not possible. But for sugar addicts, what happens is that we're carb sensitive, refined carb sensitive in particular. And our neurotransmitters are immediately and quickly lifted, and it's very intense. And our body never forgets the pleasure. So we all have a baseline in terms of our neurotransmitter levels. And our body loves to keep ourselves at our equilibrium. When we ingest cookies and cake and candies and ice cream, Kit Kats and like whatever, like even wine and alcohol is very similar for some of us sugar addicts. It lifts our brain, our neurotransmitters way above our normal. We feel pretty good, especially in the early years of use. Obviously, over time, our ability to receive pleasure, our tolerance increases and our pleasure reduces, and we need more and more, or we need stronger and stronger. But it lifts way high and we're feeling good, and our serotonin's high. We feel just a little bit more social, a little bit more confident. Dr. Kathleen Day Maison wrote a book called Potatoes, Not Prozac. And in it, she describes the science of this so beautifully. And she describes what a high serotonin state looks like and feels like, what a normal serotonin state looks like and feels like, and what a low serotonin state looks like and feels like. And what happens for sugar addicts is that when we ingest our sugar and our serotonin rises, we just feel better than normal, really good. We feel like we're kind of, some people say, oh, I feel even more myself. Our confidence boosts. We're more social, we're warmer, we feel more creative. It's a lovely state. And then what happens is that slowly our body goes, whoa, that is way above equilibrium, and starts closing down our receptor sites for serotonin. And then we have too few receptor sites open to uptake serotonin. And plus, in the meantime, our body's clearing the serotonin and the sugar out of our bloodstream using insulin. And we start the crash, the descent. And we don't just come back to equilibrium. In the early days, we do. But as this disease progresses, it's not a disease. As this affliction progresses, I don't think it's a disease personally. It's just you light up on it or you don't.
Right.
And you sort of get below equilibrium, and all of a sudden we're in the crash. And as we crash, there's not enough receptor sites to absorb and uptake the serotonin just from circulating from our food and our lives. So there's a deficit. And then we have these cravings. And it's also related to blood sugars and mood, but it's neurotransmitters. There's a crash, there's a craving, the craving boosts us high again, and we just are on this on again, off again cycle, and it's unrelenting, and it's a roller coaster. And unfortunately, over time, the pleasures are less, and the time and the pain, the lows are greater and greater. And in the meantime, the foundation of our health and mental health is eroding underneath us.